Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about community and how community relates to the individual uh, being and relationship with peace. So, really, the impetus for doing this work called Kolaval is my experience, my understanding in my body and in my being that you have to connect with peace in order to have anything good happen. So there's got to be this peace connection, and it happens really a lot more easily in nature. So when we're in the forest, in the trees, in the mountains, by the ocean, whatever it is that we're doing that is connected with nature, it really makes everything relax more easily. And then we can connect with inner peace and our soul, whatever the soul is, right? And we all have different experiences and they're evolving. So, my idea, and it's not like my idea, this is kind of like where I've been led. So, a lot of what's happening is I'm kind of following inner guidance, following intuition. This is my third healing arts center that I'm involved in. And and the other two were absolutely beautiful, and they still are beautiful, and they're turning into more beautiful things. And I felt like I did what I needed to do in that part of the country. Like in Vermont, I just poured, Elena channeling into this place in Vermont, and then just kind of moved on, and then did work in Wisconsin and just poured myself into Wisconsin. And there's beautiful things happening there. And now I've been led here, southern Mexico. Okay. So um, what I want to talk about a little bit is the community of the people there who speak Tzotzil and say Kolaval when it's time to say thank you. These people are known for being peaceful. This particular area is a very peaceful area. Now, some of you who might have heard of Chiapas in southern Mexico, which used to be like part of Guatemala, in 1994, there was a lot of issues because the government was trying to tell people you can't dress like that, you can't speak your languages, you can't have your customs. And the people said, well, we're not into that. And they had a revolution in 1994, which is not so long ago. So, where I'm living right now, there is a very strong presence of people who have a very traditional way of living, acting, dressing, and speaking. And now they're like intermingling a lot with international people and tourists. So it's quite a phenomenon that's happening. Um, and when I was looking for land, I looked for land for, I don't know, maybe a year. And I came across this land, and one of the draws to the land was this close relationship and a very respectful relationship with the local community. And the man who sold me the land, who has a plot near mine, he's a Kundalini yoga teacher. He's an older person who's traveled around the world. And he said, Lucelena, this is a really good vibration. This is a really good place. Reason being, the people who live around here, they're enlightened. He says it's like living in an ashram. All you got to do is tune into the local people and you're good. And I said, really? So I have been finding out through working with the people that it's really true. So there's a lot of practices, and literally they have rules. They have rules and regulations that they follow in order to cultivate and develop a more peaceful, powerful, healthy community. And much like they have in New England, they have meetings, like town meetings, like they have in New England, where everyone decides things on their own. They have these. Now, there's a lot of difference between what the men are responsible for and what the women are responsible for. And putting my feminist hoo-ha out the window for a while and really observing these women, I see that these people are happy, peaceful, healthy, creative, and just incredibly vibrant and generous. And so this is what I'm just kind of being with. So my vision is, living with respect for the local community of Tzotzil speaking indigenous people who have lived there for thousands of years. And also welcoming, as they themselves welcome international people and people who are, in the case of this particular project, Kolaval, people who are really into preserving nature and really into working in harmony with nature and into being peaceful and cultivating and evolving in a peaceful manner. So the evolutionary part is very important. Let's see, I think
for the future generations.
Yeah, that's the part I'll add, because I've met a lot of people in Mexico and even in the past few years, and I ask them, what are you up to? And they're very into self-preservation. And I think, oh, that's great. That is way too selfish for me. I mean, of course, self-preservation, I mean, who wants to, not be self-preserved, at least for the next 5 years or whatever their life is? Of course, we want to take care of ourselves and have good lives. But I'm really interested in people who see, look at the children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, the North American, Native Americans, especially the Lakota and many of the nations, North American indigenous nations, many of them have this value in common. What you're doing, is it benefiting the future generations? So that's always been very attractive to me. And so I see this, this is the last thing I'll say. It's an evolving thing because there's an expansion, ever expanding, ever evolving quality to being present on this planet right now. And I think it's very important to cultivate that. So on the one hand, you have the inner work, and then on the other hand, you have the community work. And one of my teachers, Pir Vilayat Inayat Khan, and his father, Hazrat Inayat Khan, said, this inner work is very important because sometimes people, they, sometimes people lose their power in that they want to find the group and they want to have the group kind of do it for them. And Hazrat Inayat Khan said, don't do that. The primary focus is inside. There has to be the cultivation of the inner peace inside. And then you bring yourself to the group, to the Sangha. But you need to do that inner dive first and foremost. So I would like that spirit also to thrive. And there's more I could say. I could go on and on. But I guess I will just add one more thing, if you will allow me. Okay. The inner work. I mean, for me, the inner work is absolutely primary. And being somebody like myself that specializes in helping people release trauma symptoms and reach goals, the level of respect and honoring that I must embody and allow at all times in order to have evolution happen is to me quite mind-blowing and uh, it's just enormous. And so I would like to see happening at Kolaval people that are really committed to the depth of inner work that is constantly needed in order to bring actual, authentic reverence to other people. Because that's where the healing, the wholeness, the evolution happens in that atmosphere. So that's all I'll say for now. And thank you all for being in this gathering together.